My name's Ian Foran from the Football Man Cave. We've teamed up with Curzon and Ashton to bring you a new YouTube series, a 15-minute chat with various players. You can also find features in the Matchday programme, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Go check it out. Alright, Cam Mason, Curzon and Ashton's number one. How are we doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good, 15 minutes, are you ready?
Yeah,
well, we always say 15 minutes, it either goes 12 minutes or 20, we don't know.
We'll see.
Start off with a couple of questions.
Yep.
Pre-match meal, what's your bite to eat?
So I normally go to a friend of mine's mum and dad's tea room.
Yeah.
For home games, have granary toast with beans, just
Nice.
basically. So beans on toast. Yeah.
Works a
Just
treat.
that and a tea. Yeah. A Yorkshire tea.
Any time frame? Do you have like a specific?
No, not really. I'm
No.
not. As long as it's a couple of hours before I get it,
Yeah.
but I'm not fussy in that regard. If we play away, normally a toasty from Costa.
Is it?
Yeah.
You can't whack an ham and cheese to
lads,
be fair.
Lads take the mick a little bit, but because they all have their nice pastas and things like that. But look, I just always done
Yeah.
that, so set in my ways.
Routine as
Yeah,
well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Post-match pint?
I'm not a drinker.
No.
No, so I'm a Coke.
Yeah.
Coke.
Big pint of Coke after it.
Yeah, or any soft drink really. I'm
Never drunk?
No, not really.
No.
I think growing up, like through the ages of my teens, when all my mates were going out on house parties, as you do.
Yeah.
When I was going, I always had football the next day early.
Ah, right.
And my dad was on to me, like, don't you? So,
Yeah.
and then when my dad actually passed his driving test, he stopped drinking,
Right.
which was about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. So I've never really grown up with it either.
Yeah.
So, no, not a drinker. Don't get me wrong. We go out for a team night out. I'll have a few, but
Yeah.
I've never,
Nothing major.
nothing major.
First non-drinker.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Take that.
Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs or a midweek kickoff?
Saturday, 3 p.m.
Saturday 3
I
p.m.
think it's what everyone looks forward to in the week.
Yeah.
I think. Don't get me wrong, that game I enjoyed just as much, but if you're working through the day, you can be rushing around. And
Yeah.
whereas a Saturday, if you don't have a game, so like next weekend we haven't got a midweek game, we just played on the weekend, so the actual build up of your week.
Right.
I'm sure fans build their work week up to the Saturday. So yeah, Saturday 3 o'clock.
Where fans can get back in as well. It's just like
That's
structured, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
nice to get out.
Don't get me wrong, don't mind playing under the lights, but I think Saturday 3 p.m. is football.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Saturday 3 p.m.
And then I found out FIFA 13, FIFA 14, you were on there.
Yeah.
Chesterfield, are you a FIFA player?
Yeah, big FIFA player.
Did you jump on them and get yourself?
I probably threw myself up front.
Did you?
Yeah.
So many goalkeepers like want to play up front all the time. I find it
came
crazy.
here as a striker.
Did you?
Yeah, a few years ago now, but basically fell out of love with footy and ended up coming here on a trial day with the old manager Matt Bradshaw, was running it for the reserve team, and I came down with a friend who, I think he was at Everton at the time, been released. I'd just come back from Oz, weren't interested in playing footy, fell out of love with it. Dad's miring me to get back into it. And I said to him, mate, should we go down there and both be strikers for the day and just have a laugh? And ended up signing me here.
No way.
I've been here ever since. Just gone backwards
Just,
on
yeah.
the starting 11, yeah.
It's usually like the other side of your career that you start going
Yeah,
backwards.
Yeah.
So you started off at Oldham Athletic Academy, is that right?
Yeah, I was there for 3-4 years. At City when I was young.
Yeah.
I got into football when I was about 11. Long story, but swinging back on my chair in year 7 class and I got detention.
Right.
And basically, school team didn't have a keeper, so he said, you can come with me, play in goal. And I got scouted for Blackburn and went to the satellite centre. Never played footy.
No.
My dad did, and he wanted me to, but I was never interested. So I went to Blackburn, to City, and then really Oldham was my majority of my academy days,
That's crazy.
Good times, yeah.
That's like every kid's dream, isn't it? And
yeah.
obviously.
A lot of my family, my cousins were involved in football. Ended up playing for the Sunday team with my cousin eventually after that moment, but didn't really, I don't know, I didn't really have the bite for it really. My dad loves football. Dad, played a lot of years, as a striker, so he always wanted me to play, but never really got into it.
No.
Loved watching it. Like, he's a big City fan. I love watching City, but never wanted to play. And then I suppose I did that detention as such.
Yeah.
And then I got scouted. I was like, maybe I should give this a go.
Yeah, let's see where it ends up.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So from Oldham, you went over to Chesterfield.
Yeah, John Sheridan got the job at Chesterfield. He was at Oldham at the time, and went to. So I got released from Oldham when I was 16. They took another goalkeeper on who's, I think he's now at Fleetwood, but he went on to play for Huddersfield, called Joel Coleman. So he went on to there, stayed at Oldham. John Sheridan went to Chesterfield and took quite a lot of the first teamers from Oldham to Chesterfield.
Right.
And then he came to the exit trials, seeing a couple of the lads from Oldham there, and basically took us across. I was the only one who eventually stayed, but he kind of because of him really. He took a lot of the first team lads and then a lot of the youth lads with him as well. So
what age were you then, and what league were Chesterfield in?
16 I was, and Chesterfield were in League 2.
Right.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I think they'd just been relegated into League 2.
Right.
They won the Johnstone's Paint Trophy that year. So they'd had success in that, but got relegated. So my first year, they were in League 2. Yeah.
Did you feel like you could make that path?
I feel like when you're a young kid, you're probably on cloud 9 in like a youth team in a full-time environment, and probably if you asked 90%, they'd all say, "Oh, I'm good enough to be a pro." Looking back, probably wasn't quite ready. I had a lot to learn. I still do now. I'm still young, but I think when I was around good, experienced keepers at that club, so they really helped me. I was on the bench a few times and things like that. Looking back now, I was probably on the bench because they had nobody else, but at the time you don't think like that. You think, oh, I'm on the bench for. Remember, there was twice I was on the bench ahead of another senior before a senior pro, and I probably thought, ooh, like,
you feel like you're itching forward a little bit.
Yeah, when we got told about contract extensions, so I spent my whole second year with the first team.
Right.
When training every day, the keepers always training with the first team. So when we got told about contract extensions, there's probably 2 or 3 of us who probably thought we had a chance, not bang on chance, but we had a chance. Unfortunately, none of us got one. Obviously now, at the time, probably thought we were hard done to. We had to change the youth team manager after our first year, so that was a big factor. But looking back now, I've grown up and think the likelihood is it could be anything from finances to anything. So, but I wouldn't change any of it though. I don't think.
Brilliant experience, I presume, as well.
Great.
Obviously, being in a League 2 club as well.
Great experience. Went to Wembley with them for the Johnstone's Paint Trophy again. They lost the time I was there, but we got to go down to Wembley. So I've got great memories from my time there. And at the time, I probably thought it'd come to an end too soon. But now looking back, it got me. It made me grow up a bit, and it led me on to other things as well. You
went out on loan to Southport at that time. How was that?
It was just a month loan. I think I was only on the bench for a game.
Right.
They had a few injuries. The keeper there was a man called Hurst. I can't remember his first name, but we ended up playing at Luton away.
Right.
So I'd never really experienced. I've been away with Chesterfield, being on the bench at Exeter and things like that, but that was non-league, the conference. And it was just, I don't know, it was Luton away and it was just different. I don't know why. An old ground that I'd never really experienced, because Chesterfield just got their new ground, and, going there, and I think we got beat 3-0 on the night, but it was, again, an experience that probably helped me now. Whereas if I hadn't had that like other lads, they hadn't experienced it when they went into environments like this, for example.
So after Chesterfield, am I right that you went over to Australia?
I went to Oz.
What was that? Was that... You got released from Chesterfield, I presume, and then was it just a case of that was an opportunity?
I knew. So basically, my old friend from school was out there, and he basically said, "Come over here. Look, this." So they over there have professional and amateur. There's no semi-pro or anything like that. They get paid to play at amateur, but it's state league and A league basically.
Yeah.
So you either play in your state, and he said, "Come over, play for a few state teams." And then you never know, you might get a chance. End up going in with Adelaide United and training there and things, and played just training and full-time environment. The problem is over there, you can only have 5 foreign players.
Right.
So if they're filled up, you ain't getting in. It's simple. And they've done that with State League now as well this year. So it's 2 players. So it's hard. Really. It's a clever idea from them, but for people like me who want to go out there, it's difficult.
But it's good for obviously homegrown players. It gives them a chance. And
funny enough, I was speaking to a gentleman the other day who's Melbourne Victory's goalie coach. I stay in touch with him, and he said they're thinking about making it where the goalkeepers have to be Australian. So you can use your 5 players or whatever it is elsewhere, but your goalie has to be Australian. So it's a clever idea for them, but for people like me who love going out there, it's a bit of a nightmare. But played State League up front.
What would you like as a striker?
I scored a few goals over there, to be fair.
You never pestered the manager for a go?
No.
No Fabian Barthez.
I've probably I'm not fit enough to play 90 minutes up front nowadays, but I reckon
Could be a David James, maybe. You
yeah,
know?
maybe. Maybe. I'm
The
not sure how
Dynambers.
the lads on the bench would appreciate that.
Imagine.
But look, I enjoy it, and especially our goalkeeping department, we have a laugh about it, and you know, look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm here as a keeper, but when we do shooting drills, I'm normally trying to get out in it and get involved in the actual shooting.
Does being able to play as a striker give you a bit of an edge as a goalkeeper, do you feel?
Probably in this day and age, yeah, because nowadays you have to be able to play football, I suppose, being a keeper. To be honest, it's from when I was younger at Oldham, my kicking and I think it was terrible. I couldn't kick out my box off a goal kick, I was awful. Whereas when I went to Chesterfield and got that full-time environment, I stayed the extra hour and I practiced, and I'd say that was as well as when I came here. Well, in Australia, just playing, the standard's not as good, but just getting used to people being around you and finding a pass and stuff probably did help me. And then when I came here, and I went, obviously, came here and then got involved with the first team, we were always in possession drills. So over time, that's probably helped me massively. Whenever we're doing possession drills out there, I want to do it.
Itching.
We did one last week with some mini goals, and I thought, this is what I love. I love goalkeeping, obviously, but look, outfielders call us session wreckers. I probably am a session wrecker, to be fair. I give the ball away more than them because naturally they're used to it. But at the same time, I like to get in there and have a laugh, and if I can megs one or two of them on the way, then
happy days.
Happy days, yeah.
So from Australia, you moved over to Curzon, 2014, if I'm right.
Yeah, so I've been here 6 years now, part of the furniture.
So elaborate on the story you were sort of saying before about coming over and the trial day and stuff. Like you said, you fell out of love with
basically my visa ran out over there, and I think I had grandparents over at the time that sadly passed away now. But I just thought I just want to go home, and even though I regret that enough every other day, but when I came home, my plan was never to stay. My plan was to go back, get a fresh visa, and basically stay. And football wasn't really a big part at that time. I fell out of love with the game. Simply, I fell out of love with football. Didn't want to watch it. Didn't want to play. Didn't want to go for a kickabout with my mates. Didn't want to do anything. I think I ended up getting a job in a warehouse, and just thought, this is me. This is me now. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Like, not saying that was a bad thing, but I wasn't interested in finding. And then I seen a Facebook post by Mark Bradshaw saying trial day for the reserves at Curzon Ashton. I thought, oh, that's close enough. I just passed my test, so I just got a car. So I thought, so that really coincided with it. And I thought, so I messaged a friend of mine who got released from Everton and said, come on, do you fancy going? And he went, oh, you putting your gloves back on? I went, nah, I'm going as a striker. And ended up staying for a few months. Played on air for the reserves and things like that. And don't know, I kind of fell back in love with it. And then basically, one day at training, there was a lad here called Matty Crovers who I'd known from a younger age, who's now at Radcliffe, he's captain there. And he said, he hadn't been at training until that night. The night before, basically, I brought my gloves and he went, where are your goalie gloves? Like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't want to go in net. He went, come on, bring them. He was like, look, we haven't got a reserve keeper. Like, we need one, please. Like, he was like,
get them out, dust them off.
So I said, all right, I'll think about it. So brought the gloves, we used to train Wednesday, Friday. Brought the gloves on the Friday. And I don't know, stuck them on, and all the lads were saying, what are you doing? Like, I said, well, I'm the keeper, really. Like, so they're like, all right. Mark Bradshaw wasn't here that night. Adam Lakeland was here, who's now the Farsley manager, who was the first team coach at the time, so he was covering training for the reserves. Trained, and he didn't say anything. He was just like, well done, lads. Like, see you later. On the way home, Mark Bradshaw rang me, you playing net tonight? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, guess what? You're with the first team tomorrow, so good luck. I was like, what? He was like, they need a reserve. Hakan was here, so that was it. They were training on the Saturday for some reason because they didn't have a game or whatever. He was like, get down here, 10 o'clock, you're training. Gloves never came off since.
Wow.
Nah, never since.
Another crazy story, in the space of years. So when you come in, obviously, Curzon were on the up, they had back-to-back promotions. They're at National League North. Following season after they got promoted, finished 11th, and then the second round of the FA Cup run, which was like a memorable time. You were understudy at that point. How was How was that? Was you itching to get out there, or was you just soaking up the experience at that point?
I think I was a bit like, I was nervous to be to be honest. I've never really been nervous for footy games, but that one, I think with the cameras here and stuff like that, I was probably nervous for everybody else, not for myself. If I had to go on, I had to go on. It just is what it is. But that day I actually missed all 4 goals that Wimbledon scored. Well, 3 goals because I went to the toilet, came back, and it was 3-3 because he scored 3 goals in 2 minutes. And it was like, so I went from, that was probably one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had here, where everyone's buzzing at 3-0. Said to the physio, because back then you had to ask for permission, can I go to the toilet? Yeah, no worries. Are you padded up just in case? Yeah. Ran in, had to wait for Alan to unlock the door, so it took me about 2 minutes. Went to the toilet, washed my hands, came out, and everyone's faces were sheet white, and I was like, but at the time, the away fans were behind the goal on that side, so I couldn't hear them because I was under air, so didn't hear anything. Went out, and Mike, the physio at the time, said, what's the long face for? Probably not in them words, but I said it, and he went, it's 3-3. I went, shut up, like, as you do, shut up. And Nev, bless him, turned around and went, Cameron, it's 3-3. I was like, right, okay.
Wow.
And then when they scored that goal, I was devastated.
Yeah, I bet.
Not just for, I weren't playing, but for the lads who were playing on the day, and for the club really, because it was. I think we played a replay every single round. We didn't get through any game like first goal. I think we played teams like Concert away. In a replay, we had York in a replay, first round was a replay, so we played like double the amount of games to get there, so it was probably a bit of a heart tear for everybody. So it was probably one of the best days in the club history, but one of the worst at the same time, because we should have won really.